Hi, and welcome to this special edition of Shale World. Today we are live from Shale Gas World Europe in Warsaw, and here with me is Mr. Dariusz Latka, HSE Management Consultant for the shale industry. Welcome, Dariusz.
Welcome, Christina, and good afternoon to everybody who is watching us.
Thank you. Okay. So for those of you who is watching us, please, if you have any questions for Dariusz, tweet them at Shale World. So Dariusz, to start with, talking about health, safety and environment, how to organize a shale safe process of exploration in the shale industry, and what are the key points, the key activities in it?
All right, as each safety process, I think that we have to divide it into the two areas. One is regarding the site, and one is regarding the local community. So as that they are not bothered by our actions. I do not have much influence on what is taking place under the ground, because all this is drilling science and all the drilling practices, which are on a very high level from what I saw onto the Polish shale place, but rather the actions onto the surface, starting with the proper management of the action onto the well site, so as not to cause excessive noise, or for example, not to bother people with the flare burning for a long time or something like this, because they are not to use this site apart from the places such as refineries, for example. And the next point, what really bothers me most is also the water consumption. We are quite fine about the water consumption because it is all measured. We pay for the water and so on. And by any means, the natural resources that we use onto the sites are going to be depleted or so. So far, this is a small proportion that we use. And the next and the last one thing is the transportation. This is the greatest piece, because it needs the education of our service providers as well, as for respecting the local rules, especially as for speeding, but also showing some courtesy to the local people when you are coming in a big lorry full of load, which is, for example, 20-ton load or something like this, unexpectedly from behind the house or onto the forest road. So please slow down, because you may have been encountered by a local person who drives his car. They do not want to be bothered by a situation like this. So it must be portioned, and watch out for kids. They usually play in the villages, into the streets. There is not much traffic. You usually do your job in a very remote areas. So the situation is also that you must pay your attention. Just yesterday I came from the well site in Poland, and the observation I made was also on kids coming to school on a gray morning, misty morning on the Pomerania region. My colleagues also noticed that we do not want to bother the people. We want to do our job in a safe manner and bring the benefits to the local community.
Definitely, this is a really important point to mention. So just talking about local communities, we know they are part of the process. So how can the industry, how can operators gain their support?
It must be a process that is organized, and the communication must be staged. And yes, it takes some resources. It's not that you just come as a big company, for example, and do your job in a perfect manner, onto your well site. No, first of all, you have to introduce yourself to the local community. You are a guest there. You want to be well perceived. So meet these people, talk to them, because we are talking about Poland. Do it in Polish. Now it's 2013, and there are lots of skillful specialists also for the PR who can be, found, who can do this job in a nice manner. Frankly speaking, personally speaking, I took part into the into the commune meetings onto the locations that we operated. Yes, adrenaline flows because you stand in front of these people, but I am proud we didn't use any tables and so on. I was doing the stand-up show, showing the safety principles that were applied during the process. I was sure what I was talking about, because it was really what we lived. And the situation was that people, they were convinced because they saw the face, they saw a person who was speaking their language, who did not differentiate from them, let's say,
sure.
and they knew it was all managed. And with this feeling of confidence, they left the meetings. We didn't have any protests, either as Talisman and afterwards as Sun Leon Energy.
The same. So what's your feedback from, you talked with many people, with the local community, so do you think they're positive for Shale development in Poland, or do you think the industry still needs to work on it?
I am very proud of the fact that I spoke to these people and I got their attention. Surely these people deserve a lot of respect, because yes, for sure, the higher level is that they are keeping their fingers crossed for us, for sure, for the success of the operations, because Poland needs this gas, for sure. It is not that environmentally unfriendly, which we want to prove every day, and we are open and communicative towards these people. I mean, especially when you welcome them onto the website. But what I'd like to say is that these people must be respected. This is not about big actions, big meetings that you have got them. It's very good that as a company you've got a person who is the corporate affairs officer on board, and you've got a local representative, one of them who can somehow filter the messages that are going to come to you and put your attention to something that is really of importance to your operations, and vice versa, transfer the messages from your side as well. So it is a process which must be managed, but also active, or I would even say proactive.
Proactive, sure.
Yes.
This is really interesting. So Dariusz, what to expect in the following couple of years in terms of shale gas exploration, and then does it gonna go into production? What's your point of view about it?
Frankly speaking, I mean, 2013 has been a very difficult year for Poland as for the shale gas, because everybody was talking in very unhappy moods about, let's say, about the fact that the Polish law is somewhere, I mean, this is not going to be extremely friendly, for example, or this is too late. The company slowed down because everybody was watching around. I hope this is going to be over. I am, let's say, full of beans and full of positive thinking about the future of the Polish shale gas operations. Why? Because with my own eyes, I saw the learning curve to be going up. Let's say there is something to talk about as the shale gas in Poland. I feel that we've got the governmental support as well. I think that it will. Me and my friends, we feel that. We hope that it's going to be not only words but also actions from the authorities' side. I can see a great area for the development of the local supporting services, because in the nearest future we will see the development of the infrastructure. No one wants to have their gas burned, for example, or vented into the air, for example, but they want to use it for the benefit of the local community. Infrastructure is going to be built, and this is also a very painful process, but I think it can be helped to a great extent by the Polish authorities, also the local ones.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Dariusz. Thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye, Christine.